All right, percent test review 2020, part 1. Give myself a little bit better view here. All right, find each percent change, state as if it is an increase or decrease. So remember, when you're trying to figure out how much percent something has changed by, you're going from a number to another number. So this is kind of like your old number, and this is your new. So the formula you can use, there's actually two of them. It's the amount of change over the original value. That's one way to kind of look at it. Or you could look at it as it's the new minus the old over the old. You're always comparing it to the original or what it used to be. So if I look at number 1, it looks like it changed by 3. I just subtracted 91 from 88, or 88 from 91. I get 3, but I'm comparing it to the 88. So 3 divided by 88 is 0.034. But then remember, you either have to multiply it by 100 or move the decimal 2 places, and you're going to turn that decimal into a percentage, and you'll get 3.4%. And this is an increase because it's going up. So correct answer there is A. Number 2, we're going from 27 to 46, so we are definitely increasing. So I can get rid of this one. Looking at the amount of change, 46 minus 27 is 19, and it used to be 27. And that comes out to be roughly 0.70, or 70% increase. Correct answer is C there. All right. Moving forward, number 3 and number 4. 86% of 75.8. So remember, whenever they say of, that's the total. That's how many it's out of, kind of like on a test. Is kind of the piece that we're looking for. So to find 86% of 75.8, well, you're just going to go 0.86 times 75.8. You always just change the percent to a decimal and multiply. So 0.86 times 75.8 is going to give me about 65.188. So right here. What percent of 132, so that's how many it's out of, but they don't give me the percent here, okay, is 22. So there's 2 ways to do this. So think about this like a test. If this was a test and it was out of 132 and you got 22 right, first of all, it'd be a pretty bad test score. Let's just see what it would be. 22 divided by 132. I get 0.16666 repeating. So when I multiply, looking like about 16.7%, that would be A. Now, if you like the equation, if you kind of want to run it like how we did over here, you could say, well, what percent times 132 is 22? We know the answer. Well, you're going to see that you're just going to divide both sides by 132, and it just ends up being the shortcut there. So when you know the two numbers and you just want to find what percent one is of another, then that's how you do it. Now, some people confuse this and think about percent change. This is not a percent change problem. They're not asking me what the percent did it change by. They're saying what percent is one number of another number. So those are 2 different kind of animals. Careful on that. All right. Number 5, 17% of what is 75? So, 17% of, I don't know what it's out of. So 17% of, I don't know how much it's out of, but the answer is 75. So on this one, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.17. This one's a little bit tricky. It's, because we kind of have the part, we have the piece, but we don't have the total. So our x is kind of in that weird spot there. And so when we do that, we get 75 divided by 17.17. My bad. And we look like 441.8 0.17, aka C. Number 6, if an item costs $31.80 after, that's a key word there, after sales tax. So remember, all of these problems, I'm going to do like this. I'm always going to have the original price. That's going to be my starting point. Then we may apply some sort of a discount. Okay? And then we may apply some sort of a tax. There might be multiple discounts. And then we end up with the sale price or the final price, however they want to word it. And remember, when you do a discount, you are taking away, so it's 1 minus the percent, and tax is always 1 plus a percent. So be careful on those. So on this one, let's see what we have. We have $31.80 as the after price, so that goes back here. We don't have a discount, so we don't have to worry about that. The original, we don't know what the original is. And my tax is 6%, so we're going to do 1 plus 6%, or 1.06. So when I multiply those two together, I just get 1.06x equals 31.80. And this is a division problem. So you're going to divide both sides by 1.06, and we get exactly $3,000. Now, what you do not want to do, okay? A lot of kids do this. A lot of kids find 6% of 31.80, and they get an answer. You know, they get 0.06 times 31.80, and they'll get $190.80. And then they think they can just subtract this, and they'll think that that's going to be the right answer. And if you did that, you probably got 29.8920. You probably got this answer, but it's wrong. I knew to put that answer there because I know some of the mistakes you guys make. The correct answer here is C. So if you're really struggling with that, think about it like this. You have a price tag, okay? You have some sort of original price. And then the state of Michigan, you know, on top of that price, there is some sort of tax. Not tat, some sort of tax. And the state of Michigan basically says, hey, we want our money. You know, so this is the state of Michigan. Give us our money. We get the tax. Well, in the end, like on this problem, in the end, it was $31.80. Michigan does not get 6% of $31.80. They don't get that. They get 6% of this number. Now, when we ended up solving the problem, we worked backwards and we found out that this was $3,000. So that tax, that 180 bucks, that's going to these guys, not 6% of this number. So that's why that doesn't work. It's always going to be a division problem. There'll be a few more on here where you can kind of practice and see what I'm talking about. All right, number 7, pair of jeans, original cost $40. Put that in the front. 30% off was your first discount. So 1 minus 30% off. So that's 0.70. Then they got another discount, another 45% off. So minus 0.45, which would be 0.55. And there's no tax, so we don't have to worry about a tax parenthesis. And it's wanting to know how much do they cost now. So what's the new cost? The reason why I write it like this is because on the SAT, a lot of times they don't multiply it out and get an answer. They'll leave parentheses like this. But when you multiply it out, 40 times 0.7 times 0.55, you end up with 15.4. So $15.40 is the final price of these jeans after a couple discounts. Number 8, DVD movie costs $21.60 after. So it's going to go with the back side. $21.60 is over here. So I know it's about to be a division problem. We don't know the original. There was 8% tax. So that's 1 plus 0.08. And to get x by itself, we just divide by 1.08. Divide by 1.08. And 2160 divided by 1.08 is Looks like $20 even. 20 bucks. Correct answer, A. All right, number 9, number 10. Price of milk has risen 25% in the last 6 years. The price used to be $2.49. What is it now? So it used to be. So back in the day, it was $2.49. Now, if milk stayed the same, we would multiply by 1, and it would still be $2.49. But rises 25%, we're going to add in 0.25. And here we go. That's milk at a 25% raise in price. So 2.49 times 1.25, boom, 311 after you round it. Correct answer, A. Number 10, the number of students at MHS has decreased 20%. So I know right now I'm going to have a 1 minus, a decrease of 20%, which is going to turn into a 0.80. We now have 760. So that tells me where this goes. We now have 760. How many did we used to have? So the original number, the old number was, I don't know. So we got a division problem. Divide by 0.80, divide by 0.80. 760 divided by 0.8 is 950. So we used to have 950. I think we actually had about 1060 or something at one point in time, way back in the day. Number 11. Max transfers 15% of his monthly pay. So 15% of his monthly pay. So that's going to be 0.15 times his monthly pay. Because when you want to find the percent of something, you multiply. And he makes $4,100 per month. Pretty good job, over $1,000 a week. So 1,500 or 15.15 times 4,100. That's his month. And 0.15 times 4,100. $615. So that's how much he's saving per month. That's what 15% of his paycheck is. But they want to know how much in a year. So don't bite on the A answer, okay, because that's just the month. So for a year, we'd have to multiply that number by 12. So we times that number by 12. We're looking at $7,380. $7,380. Number 12, Mr. Davis went to a restaurant and he left a 15% tip. This must have been back in the day because nowadays you leave like 18 or 20. But 15% tip. He paid $92.60 total, including the tip. So when you set this up, you want to put that at the back end. That's the latest number. We don't know the original price. You can call it P, you can call it X, call it whatever you want. But the tip is going to be 1 plus 15 because our bill increased because of that tip. And so we're just going to divide both sides by 1.15. Divide by 1.15. 92.60 divided by 1.15 is, looks like 80.52. So original bill, $80.52. All right. 13 and 14. If a group of 4 people spends $110 on dinner and gives a 20% tip, how much would each person pay if they split it equally? So they spend $110 on dinner. That's not at the end. That's at the beginning. So $110 on the dinner. Then they do the tip. So that's going to be 1 plus the tip. And we just want to know what that is. 110 times 1.20 equals be $132. I probably should have put that as an answer. But then it says, how much would each person pay? So we need to divide that by 4 people. So that goes in there, what, 33? 33 bucks. Correct answer is B. Number 14, a shirt is $80, discounted, then taxes paid. How much do they pay at the very end? So 80 is the beginning price. 30% off is 1 minus 0.30. So you're really doing 70. 40% off means you're really doing 60. Sales tax, 1.06. And what does all that shake out to be? I'll make my calculator do the work. 80 times 0.7 times 0.6 times 1.06. Wow, pretty nice discount. You're actually spending, looks like it'd be 62 if I round it. 35.62. Correct answer, C. Next, number 15. Milan has 857 students now. So that's now, 857. 5 years ago, we had 1,100. So, what am I doing? 1,100. So we went from to this. So we decreased. What is the percent change? Well, to find the percent change, we got to figure out how much did we drop. So let's minus that out. So let me do this in my head. That'd be 243. 243 divided by, be careful here, divided by what it used to be, the original. So 243 divided by 1,100. Looks like 0.22. Times it by 100 or move it over. You're talking 22%. Correct answer is B. You survey a random sample of your first hour class to determine how many students leave Michigan for spring break. Of the 34 students, so out of 34 students, you find 23% leave Michigan. Okay? Based on this information, how many students would you expect in the entire high school to leave? Well, so the 34 doesn't really matter. That's just saying that we looked at 34 kids, but the real number is we did a survey and we found 23% of people are going there. So as long as our survey is valid, as long as we did a legitimate survey and we had a random sample, it's safe to assume that 23% of the entire school is going to go to spring break. So to find a percent of a number, 0.23 times 800. So 0.23 times 800. We're looking at 184. So the correct answer is C. All right. Let's see what we got left here. Number 17 and 18. So number 17, electric bill was, so it was $65.42. Due to an increase, so it went up, it is now $78.14. So we had some sort of an increase. What was the percent increase? Well, let's use our change formula. Let's see how much it changed by. So I'm going to subtract those two numbers. 78.14 minus 65.42. It looks like our bill changed by $12.72. And then we're going to compare that to the original, to what it used to be. So I'm going to divide that by 65.42. And I'm getting 0.1944, aka 19.4%. B. Number 18, 05 to 2010, the population increased by 17%. So increase is going to be that. If the city had, but now I got to see, it had this many in 2010. They want to know 05. So I don't know the before number. The before number increased, and now I know we're here. So I need to divide those two numbers. It's very important figuring out if the number is the newer number or the older number. That's huge. So 125 G's divided by 1.17, 106, 837-ish. We'll call it 838 when we round. A. What else we got here? Oh, looks like that was it. All right, so that concludes part 1, multiple choice. Those are kind of like Kraft and Davis worded questions. Next week, we will focus on a few of the SAT ones that are going to show up on the test. See you.